All right, thanks for joining me in today's video. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at using Chat GPT to find some hot stock picks. Can it handle it? Will it do it? I don't think it'll go ahead and give you all the details, but we're going to play around with it and just give you some insights on how you might use the system and idea to go ahead and generate some ideas for trading and investing. All right, so let's take a look at some of these things. Before we get started, don't forget to check out the Traders Fly site. Hit a thumbs up as well. You can check out some great courses over here. Scroll down, options mastery course, verticals course, weeklies course. We've got a lot of stuff on singles, ultimate adjustments, and much more. And of course, I also work with people one-on-one. So if it's something you're interested in, definitely check out the coaching where we can get together and work together for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months at a time every single week. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat system and how you might go ahead and do things. I already did another video about some of this stuff where you could see, hey, you could use it to write code and formulas. But let's go ahead and create a new chat. And let's see if it can go ahead and generate some stock picks. I think you'll get some warnings here and that kind of thing, but overall, you'll see how it works. I also use a speech dictation program to do a lot of my writing. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm going to activate it. When I speak, it's going to type it out for me. Not all perfect as well. Also another AI system. And then we'll see what we can do with some general questions and some back and forth. What are some of the most popular stocks for 2023 should I invest in, or stocks that might have the biggest gains in the future? All right, so I went ahead and wrote it in. Of course, you're going to get this general thing of, hey, I'm an AI model. I can't provide financial assistance and so on because past performance, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of legalities behind it, obviously, and it's not going to go ahead and give you that. But what you could do is say, what are some of the stocks that had the greatest performance recently and are also the most liquid and highly traded? Now let's take a look. So as we're starting to generate some of these things, we could go ahead and maybe pull in some more data and we'll see what it does and comes up with. Now, this is the first time I'm asking these questions because normally I do my own research. And I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to the strategy, how you're managing positions and so on. And again, you can see as an AI model, my knowledge cutoff is September 2021. So again, it's going to be a bit delayed. So we're still struggling, right? And trying to get some of the stock picks. It's going to be a little more difficult here. All right, let's go again to the next part as we go into a secondary question or getting a little deeper. It's like, okay, got it. Some of those heavily liquid stocks are, and you can see it's a little slow. It's a little bit heavy on the usage right now, I guess, in people. S&P 500, yes, the SPX accounts, by the way, for about 65% of the actual money that's exchanged on a day-to-day basis. It actually does move the whole market, but in either case. All right, so we can stop generating that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what are some of the technical indicators that I could use to find stocks that might be great candidates to invest in. And now let's see what the response might be. So you can see we can play with this AI model back and forth, but ultimately I'm getting a lot of, you'll get a lot of back and forth. You can't ask just a direct question in some of these cases. What you'll need to do is kind of filter and funnel things out on, hey, what is it that you're really looking for and how are you trying to extrapolate data and doing some research, those kinds of things. So if you're trying to work with, let's say, moving averages, then you could probably pull out some data right here where, hey, what about the moving averages? What about the Bollinger Bands? What about some RSI indicators and how you might do something like that? That would be kind of the approach to maybe take rather than, trying to actually get the direct answer of which stocks I should invest in. So now what we can do is say, okay, well, I've got moving averages, I got RSI. So I might say, what are the most common moving averages used by traders or investors? And then we can go here and now we can start pulling some more data. Several moving averages to analyze stock price. Here's the most common types of simple moving averages. Okay, got it. What is the most common days for an exponential moving average that most traders use? Okay, here we go. The most commonly used time frames for moving include the 50-day, 100-day, 21. Okay, how about we'll go for the exponential moving average. Let's see what it comes up with. EMA being analyzed. Shorter time frames are more responsive to recent price moves. Yep. Okay, some of the most common 20-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day. Okay, so we've got a few moving averages. Now, what we can do is actually take some of this data to maybe find stocks that are moving beyond a 20-day or 50-day. So what we can do is I'm going to use this system right here. And this is TC2000 by Warden. I'm going to go for stock price over $35, and I will add in another indicator, choose conditions where we have a moving average exponential. We're going to use the 50, and what we'll do is say above the exponential 50 moving average. Okay, and I will switch this to 50, so this way we can kind of see and get an idea. And what I can do is remove some of these other plots that I have. That way you can kind of see, hey, now we've used a chat system, OpenAI, to kind of give us some general idea for investing. Unfortunately, doing things through stock picks, I don't think it'll do, the best job. I mean, you could probably get it to pull out some criteria, and but in our case right now, okay, it's now above the 50. We can do a scan, and now what you'll see is, hey, all these stocks that I go through, it's above the 50-day moving average. So all these stocks right now are above the 50-day moving average. So that's kind of nice to start scanning through criteria and being able to see, well, where are they above the 50-day moving average? And if you want to invest in kind of a trend or moving or seeing a trend, then this is kind of a way to use it. As for stock picks, most popular stocks, it might be more along the lines of something like, what are the most popular dividend investing companies that most people invest in over the last few years? So maybe asking a question like this could dictate a result, but again, it's struggling as an OpenAI language. What are the best stocks that have returned the greatest return from dividends over the last decade? Okay, so it's still struggling with that. Let's refresh. Sometimes you get into these glitches. I don't have access to real-time financial data. However, I can provide with some on how to find the stocks that returned great. One way is look at the dividend increase. This is the increased over the years, yada, yada, yada. Research historical yields. Okay. Can you give me a list of the most popular stocks that people invest in as for dividend stocks? Okay, so here we go. Here's some dividend stocks. We're finally getting somewhere. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, ExxonMobil, AT&T, Verizon, Pfizer. I would probably not invest in AT&T. It has a high dividend, but the stock doesn't go anywhere. Apple, Walmart, Pfizer. Yeah, I mean, and now what you can say is, what are some stocks that are related to Procter & Gamble or Walmart that also pay a good dividend? Let's see how it does here, and then we can take a look. To Procter & Gamble or Walmart, and also pay a good dividend. Okay, Colgate-Palmolive, that's right. See, over here, there's no Colgate. Colgate-Palmolive, okay. I don't need the whole history or details, but it's okay. See, it's writing things out for you, letting you know what's going on. Okay, dividend yield of 2.5%. Kimberly-Clark, Consumer Goods Company. Yeah, okay. So you can see, you could start to dig deeper into these kinds of things where you go ahead and maybe you'll pull out a list of tickers. Then you can go ahead and grow and expand on that question. And then what you can also do is say, hey, what are some oil and gas stocks that pay a great dividend? And we can do something like that. What are some oil and gas companies or energy companies that also pay a great dividend? Why don't we wait for this to kind of finish up generating some things, and then we can go ahead and hit this one. So as you can see, it's generating some good things. You obviously have to wait for this to do its thing. I kind of let it run in the background for some scripting, sometimes for some coding, sometimes for popping up different things on screen here. For example, like some things I'm working on. Boom, Morgan Stanley right now, 95.75. And then I can get rid of it. So we use it now to go into our live feed for the OBS studios. So let's see again, pop it up. It should refresh the price, 95.72, down 78 cents. Okay, so while we wait, try again. Now it's down 73 cents. So you can see we could actually use it to live feed some data. So that's kind of how I use it. But if you're trying to pull out some dividend companies or things, here's some oil and gas companies. Perfect. That also pay a great dividend. ExxonMobil. So again, you can see how I'm playing with the system to kind of generate some results onto some stock picks. Obviously, it's not going to give me a direct, hey, these are the best stock picks for 2023. Otherwise, well, in that case, they wouldn't be, because then other people would short them because everybody would buy them up. Then they'd be shorted. So it'd create a lot of pressure. Not everybody trades that way, right? But you can see it kind of can give you a starting point from research, some general ideas depending on the sectors, industries that you play in, and other things like that. So I hope this kind of gives you a little insight to the whole system of how you could maybe use it as a idea bank, and gives you a starting point. And let's do one last final question. Can you give me a list of ticker symbols that are highly traded or very liquid, separated by commas, and only give me the ticker symbols without any additional information? Let's see how it does with this. So just to generate a little bit of an idea bank, we can see how it comes up with some of these ideas. So ultimately, will it do a good job? I don't know. Anyway, a little laggy, a little delayed. And I think it's struggling a bit. There it goes. Oh man, here's a list of some highly traded. Okay, we'll let it go and keep it running. There you go. Starting to do it. So you can see it does require a little bit of patience. You got to do a little bit of work with it. It's trying to pull in some data here and really go with it. Otherwise, it's just a lot easier to pull up a software like this to, hey, I got my list, I scan it and go from there for idea generation, and it'll tell you exactly what sector it is. Or you could even use some of the scanning features here in, let's say, Thinkorswim or that kind of thing. So anyway, as you can see here, we got a little delay. In many cases, it'll often generate some listener results, as you saw. So I want to share that with you to give you some ideas as far as how you can use the system to play with it to get you some ideas for trading some stocks and investing. But you can see it does have a bit of struggle and problems with it. But it's a starting point, right? It'll probably continue to evolve with time, and it should continue to get better. But again, use it as a guide, use it as a stepping stone, use it as, hey, maybe to help you out with something. But obviously make your own trading decisions, plans, and work your strategy as needed to really make sense of what you're doing in trading and investing, rather than using the full AI system blindly. It's just another tool, and you can use it to help you rather than just kind of completely blind yourself by it. Because a lot of people do with time in these kinds of new evolution of things, they get blindsided by things, and then all of a sudden they take their eyes off the road and get into a car accident. Kind of like with the Tesla cars, right? People sleeping and driving, doesn't work out. So the same thing here. Don't blindly use the system. Use it as a tool and to help you get further along. At the end of the day, your brain is still going to be more powerful than these AI systems. All right, thanks for joining me, and I will catch you next time.